Well, here comes the big one. It's first v second in the National League South. Dorking play away at Dulwich Hamlet, and the winner is likely to win the National League South title. Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, A Wandering Dork with me, Daniel. It's Season 2, Episode 7, and today we're back for the final two games of the National League South season, and you can see the first one couldn't be much bigger, as we need a result against Dulwich Hamlet away from home to secure the title against the second place side. If they win, it all goes down to the final day, and we'll have a really tricky test away to Bath, who are also trying to get into the top 7, so we certainly want to get things wrapped up in the first game, or this could be a very tense long episode. And as difficult as it is, with two tricky away games to finish, what a perfect way it would be to wrap up the title. Just a point needed away at Dulwich and we'd make sure we got promoted as champions. A year ahead of schedule in our second season, we certainly couldn't ask for much more than that. But before we get into any of the action today, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series. I really do appreciate your support with it. If you've missed any of the action so far, then please do click on the eye above to catch up to find out how we've got to this position in Season 2. And if you are enjoying the story, then please put a thumbs up on the video. And if you're new to the channel, then subscribe for daily FM20 content. We'll be moving across to our new schedule next week as the head coach series returns for FM20. That'll start on Monday at 4:30 PM, and then that and this story will rotate every day. The only other thing to come before that is the final episode of our Luton Town beta save. We've got a big relegation decider coming up on Saturday, which will certainly be an interesting one. And what I'm hoping today is that we'll be able to secure the title. And if that's the case, we can then come back with our Season 2 review tomorrow. The first one seemed to go down really well, and I've got a couple of ideas for what I'd like to focus on. But I don't want to talk about that and get ahead of myself yet, as we could be featuring playoffs tomorrow. We've got to make sure we get points in these two games, particularly this first one against Dulwich. But let's quickly go and have a look at the schedule to see what's been happening off camera. You were of course with me for the Jekyll and Hyde performances at the start of February. A brilliant 2-0 win at home to Havant and Waterlooville, a wonderful performance in that game, and then we were equally as bad against Chippenham Town. They won 2-0 against us. We've been unbeaten since, but as you can see from the table, Dulwich Hamlet have matched us every step of the way. We've only dropped 2 points in our last 8 games. They've managed to keep up the same record. We had 2 2-1 wins, first at home to Hampton and Richmond, Archer and Presley with a goal apiece. At Hungerford it was Presley with both of them. Again, things a little tense late on after conceding. Then a brilliant 5-1 victory at Maidstone. A red card came after 5 goals. Archer got 4 of them and Harbottle the other. A brilliant display by the young strikers. And then a 2-0 win away at Chelmsford. Again, second half goals from each of our strikers. Before Aaron Presley with the equaliser at home to Concord. Again, just making sure we picked up points. Away at Hornchurch we won 3-1. Archer with 1, Presley with 2. I think you're starting to see the theme with this front 2 now. And then this month, a comfortable 3-0 win at home to Farnborough. Georgie, Archer and an own goal in the first half. And then at home to Wealdstone, Presley and Georgie again, just ensuring that we got a victory. Those 2 popped up either sides of Harbottle's own goal. So we're in really decent form, but we've got to be fair, the home side today have matched us all the way, and they've really pushed us to the end here. We've got 106 points and haven't yet wrapped up the title. That shows just how strong the opposition has been. Any other year, Dulwich would have won it at a canter, but this year we've got a brilliant side too. But of course, before we get into the game, there is one other thing to focus on, and that's of course our youth intake. The development centre will show that there's probably not anyone to be too excited about. We've now signed a few under-18s we wanted to, probably not a standout youth intake. We've got 2 players that have got a little chance of making it. Tim Baxter, a 16-year-old fullback, a left-back naturally with 3-star potential. Not the best player, but he might make it a semi-pro level, and we'll keep him around just to see if we can aid his development. And then the other one has 2.5-star potential. His name's Grant Brooks, but he's a centre half who can't tackle or head, so I don't really hold up much hope for him. Low determination too, so he's not going to improve very quickly, and I think Baxter's possibly the only hope, and even then he's not going to be a first choice player. So another very underwhelming youth intake, and of course we haven't got the money to upgrade the facilities, so that's going to be the case for another few years at least. Maybe once we get to the Football League we can look at that, but of course then we've got to match it to our wage spend. If we keep spending on wages to try and develop, It means we won't be able to bring in youngsters, but obviously this season our wage bill's been significantly lower, and the young signings we brought in the summer have really seemed to prove that needs to be the strategy going forward. They've been brilliant, and they're of course just a moment away from history, so let's go and look at the dynamic screen and then get into that game to find out if we can do it. The dynamics are very good, we're in excellent form, a couple of the young players wanting to go on loan, and we have got some decisions to make in the summer, but of course they'll feature in tomorrow's review episode. Today's just about completing a job. So it's first v second, we don't need to focus on any other game, no one else can even get close to catching us. There's an FA Cup semi-final going on, but who cares about those big competitions? We're here focused on semi-pro football and trying to get ourselves up to the 5th tier. As you'd expect, Champion Hill's almost sold out, Dulwich always having a brilliant home support, and we've always won our games against them in this career so far, so I'm hoping we can continue that record today. We've got one loan signing that's come into the team, and a couple of other late ones we got in as well. We'll introduce those today to you too. So Jake Kenyon's joined at left back, he's just come on loan for the last couple of months. We were shipping goals for fun in that position, so I've just brought him in. He's not the sort of player with the attribute set that we'd go for normally, but he's doing a job for us at the moment. And then on the bench, just a couple to add strength in depth. Idris Khan, who's come in as a striker, 3-star ability, 5-star potential. And then Geraldo Martin, a left winger, think he was with us at Hemel Hempstead in FM19, 3-star ability, 4-star potential, made one substitute appearance so far. So that was the good thing without filling our squad with loan players, is that when we then needed a couple late in the year, we've just been able to go and pick some good ones, and hopefully they'll be able to contribute, and we may even give them a run out on the last day if we're up. But let's go through the 11 for today first. Of course we've now got the relationships fixed, so our front two have got a really solid partnership, as have the two centre halves and midfielders. In the wide areas we're not quite so strong, but of course you probably wouldn't expect that. We've got Georgie coming in for Lopez from our normal team today. He's scored on both of his last two matches. We obviously saw those in the schedule a minute ago, so no surprise he's got himself in the team. It means we've got Hale Brown in goal, Vaughan and Kenyon the fullbacks, Harbottle and O'Dwyer continue as our solid central defensive partnership, with Gallagher and Whelan in central midfield, Georgie and Richards on the wing with Presley and Archer up front, and a couple of game changers on the bench, though hopefully we won't need to rely on them. So let's go and get into this first game against Dulwich. My word, it's going to be a tense one. Well, a 4-2-3-1 for the home side, plenty of good players out there. We featured them before, they've had a brilliant season, so we're just going to tell the lads to get on with it. Hopefully we can raise our game and perform at our best, and if we do, fingers crossed we'll get at least a point. We only need a draw, remember, to keep that 5-point gap, but Dulwich are on the attack early on. It's Chapman on the right who's already got a booking, and he finds Barnes on the right. 2 bookings for the home side in fact, as Richards does a good bit of defensive work, but it's still pressure on from the home side, with Barnes getting to the right byline. He delivers to the back post, Mills is there, O'Dwyer just about nods away, but Chapman from the edge of the box has a shot, though thankfully it's just over the bar. You can see we've got a packed away into the left there. Good to see so many Dorking fans here, and fingers crossed we'll give them something to cheer about. We just need to make sure we keep this scoreline. Here's a throw at right back, a bit of a perilous position. Vaughan and O'Dwyer playing a 1-2, and Vaughan does the right thing, goes long downfield, and Presley, the target man's picked it up. He's the key player to sign a new deal into the last episode, moving on to a deal to the end of next year, and although we've had to pay him a little bit more money, I hope it's going to be worthwhile for us. You can see he's been scoring goals for fun, really formed a partnership with Archer now, and with both of them here till the end of next year, I hope they get to have a go at the National League. Mills shoots from 30 yards, a wild effort for Dulwich, and he's comfortably wide of the post, and I think Hale Brown had it covered anyway. The home side with a corner though, they continue to pour forward. Harbottle heads it away to the left wing, Belecki picks it up for them on the right, and they're going to try and get it back in the box. Carline down the line for Barnes. He's had a few chances to cross already. Back to Arlott John, the right wing back. He cuts it inside and there's 2 men there, but thankfully the cross was slightly overhit. They've got it out on the left though, and another chance to cross. Ethan Vaughan can't get there, but Kenyon clears it away at the back post, and Archer does brilliantly to hold it up. He's challenged though and it falls for Barnes. Richards nicks it off him, it's a very long highlight. Gallagher's got it in central midfield. Good through ball, and here comes Kenyon's attacking attributes. Can he get his first goal for the club? To the byline and tries to shoot, and unfortunately it's wide. It was really greedy, but good to see we caused a threat on the counter. Just over 5 to the break is a throw in for Reynolds on the left. Again the home side pouring forward. We've only had 1 shot in this game, none on target as Mills puts it in, and it's turned to disaster here. We're going to have to go positive because we're getting outplayed, and we're going to demand a bit more from the lads. A first worrying sign, I'm not getting too nervous yet, but if it finishes with this scoreline, that Bath game's going to be atrocious. It's half time then, Dulwich deservedly lead 1-0, 7 shots to 2, we haven't even had one on target, they've had 60% possession as well, so we're just going to get assertive, tell the lads we want to see more, and hopefully they'll be motivated by the thought of a title. But we come back almost immediately for a corner for the home side, headed onto the line, Whelan gets it away, the rebound's in as Whelan moved off position, and I think this is going to end in disaster. The title race is going down to the final day. I couldn't be more disappointed, but I saw it coming, and it's probably why I'm not as devastated as I thought I would be, as I sort of had a sense we might lose this game. Georgie on the right though, can we get one back? Plenty of time left if we can. He's got 2 in the box and he cuts it back for Whelan. 2 running off him, into Presley. Brilliant finish by the striker. The target man with his 20th goal of the year, and the deficit's halved here at Dulwich. We've got a chance to win the title with 40 minutes remaining. We just need one more goal. It's O'Dwyer with a free kick in the opposition half, finds Georgie on the right hand side, got the motivation back now, think we can do it all of a sudden, as Gallagher gets it wide to Tom Richards. The 2 experienced men cutting inside, Richards into the box unopposed, he tries to go alone but his shot was woeful and is comfortably wide of the post. An hour gone, it's still 2-1, but we've got a bit of a lifeline in this match. It's Hale Brown with a goal kick. Do you think we can do it? Let me know in the comments. Doesn't look good at this stage, but I hope we can get back into it. Chapman on halfway, and if we concede again it's all over. As the long ball goes forward, Kenyon gets it away at left back. Out to Richards on halfway. He cuts it into Gallagher. Presley's cut it back to Archer. I thought he was in, but he's found Richards and he scores. We're through. It's 2-2. We're back in charge of the title race, and just 28 minutes to go and hold on now. What a wonderful attacking move that was. It looks like we're going to win the title with a game to spare. A brilliant comeback so far, but it's still a big threat from the home side as Harbottle has to clear away a throw-in. Long ball into the box from Hughes. He's going to try and deliver it again, but Richards with a brilliant tackle defensively. He's been superb at both ends today, and now he's put Archer in down the left channel. He's got a chance to cross for Presley. Shoots and hits the post. It could have been all over. What a wonderful bit of luck for Dulwich Hamlet, and they survive at 2-2, though these lads have turned it around brilliantly. We've got a quarter of the game to go and the voice is starting to go too. Jake Gallagher's just got his 15th yellow of the season. I think that might be a 3-game ban. But hold the phone as Presley's found Whelan. We've got 2 or 3 men in if Georgie can find them. Brilliant ball for Presley, and surely that one's it. Presley slides it into the bottom corner, and with it must come the title here. We go 8 points clear as it stands, and Dulwich need 2 to stay in the title race. 20 to go, we're going to make a change. You can see Kenyon's had a shocker at left back. He's nervous and he's struggling for confidence, so we're going to bring on young Jordan Ina. One of the few players that hasn't got a contract for next year, so he's playing for a new deal. And we're going to take Gallagher off on a yellow as well. Let us down with Reds a couple of times this year. At a bye, he comes on in the attacking central midfield position. Tom Whelan drops to the ball winner. 2 changes made in, we'll get back into it. And we've just got 18 minutes to hold on. It's Harbottle with a free kick in the central defensive position. Long ball forward which is cleared to Whelan. Plenty of time to find Georgie on the right. Dulwich have sent men forward and it's costing them at the back. We're getting through them so easily. And I'm going to get really excited if we get a 4th here. We could end up winning it in style yet. Just 10 to go. We'll make our final change and hopefully it'll be one that can help us hold on. Now we've got Georgie and Richards on the wings, both of them having decent games, but I'm going to bring Lopez on for Georgie, just because the left side of Richards is so good defensively, and with 10 minutes to go I hope that'll freshen things up and giving us a little bit of a threat going forward. But Mills is unmarked on the left here for Dulwich, cutting inside unopposed, he's got a chance to shoot and scores, and we suddenly get a little bit nervous again. Let's get the time wasting on as it's just 7 minutes to go, and we're back to 3-3, and just 1 goal away from worrying again. We'll get back into it with that on, slow the pace down completely, and hopefully we can frustrate this game to a draw. 3-3 is a result we desperately need. We've got 6 minutes of stoppage time. Where on earth's that come from? We're going to drop to balanced and see a few more out, but I think we're going to have to go more defensive yet. And with 2 minutes of stoppage time going, I'm starting to panic a little here. We'll get Lopez and Richards back to wide midfield positions. Probably should have kept Georgie on for that. But let's get back into it. 4 minutes more to go, and we just need the lads to hold on for dear life. 1 minute of stoppage time to go. This is the end we want to see it at. It falls for Whelan who scores. There's the title. The fans go nuts to the left. What a fantastic finish from the midfielder. We win the title with a game to spare, and it's a wonderful entertaining game to finish off the season. Fitting for Dulwich as well, who have been brilliant competitors, and they proved it with another great performance today. At a bye he puts one just over the bar, but there's nothing that's going to stop our party now. A brilliant performance from both sides, and we just come out on top. And and we celebrate the title as you can see there. The white suit getting his first outing for the club. Promoted in 2 years, I didn't expect that, and we've got a lot of rebuilding to do for next season. Well, I had a brief moment of panic there as I thought the game was going to crash for a second, but thankfully it didn't, so we can tell the boys they were excellent. Probably wasn't our best performance, defensively we were terrible, but the lads gained confidence and that's all that matters, and it means we can play with some freedom against Bath. A brilliant result and with it the title, and a yo-yo game which is fitting of our season. So there we go, 109 points. Dulwich will be devastated to get 100 and not go up. They've been fantastic all season, but we win the National League South title. Chippenham secured a playoff spot. Let's have a look at the board budgets. The wage budget's gone up by about £5 a week. That's really good for us. I think aside from Presley, no one has a wage rise for promotion, so it does mean we're going to have most of that to spend, and we've already started our scouting process for next season, just as we did last summer in mid-April, and obviously I showed you that in depth in our season run review, and we'll be going through the same thing again this year. So medals for the National League South win. 20 have been allocated to players who have played one game or more. The board are happy, of course they will be. The supporters are happy, of course they will be too. And lots of players are happy that we've got promoted. Apparently we'd made some promises. Presley's got to get the praise, his finishing was sensational. Though some of the passes to create goals were great, we've just got to sort out our defensive frailties. But now's not a time to worry about that. Let's go and enjoy our title win, and we'll be back in a week for our party against Bath. Hopefully we can put on a show for the fans. Well, back for the final day of the season and a chance to make a couple of changes just to rotate and enjoy the final day. We're in excellent form and Bath have got a massive game on their hands today. They're trying to secure a top 7 spot. They could yet be joining us in the National League next year, but of course they're going to need to win this one or get a massive favour from the sides below them. So 3 changes to our 11 for today just to try and give some youngsters experience. Amadi's in at left back for Kenyon. He's done his job, the loanee. He can go back a week earlier and have a holiday. He's done what he needs to for us. We've got Adebayo in central midfield with Gallagher dropping to the bench, and then Kevin Kavanagh's coming in on the left wing. He's been training brilliantly for 2 or 3 months now, and I feel like he deserves another game. Not really had much of a chance this year, but did well for us in the previous season, so it's only fair he gets a game today before we decide if he's good enough for the National League. We've got a lot of the experienced players on the bench, the likes of Richards, Gallagher and Pryor, and for those 3 in particular it could be their last games. They've all struggled with form towards the end of this season and been outshone by their younger teammates, and we've got to decide whether they can really step up. We don't want to be carrying anyone next season. We've got a lot of youngsters being scouted for the season as well. We don't want to miss out on any players as good as the ones we've signed, and to do that we may have to let the experienced ones go, particularly playing at a higher level than before. But that means our 11 for today is Hale Brown in goal, Amadi and Vaughan the fullbacks with Harbottle and O'Dwyer at centre half. We've got Whelan joined by Adebayo in the middle, Georgie on the wing with Kevin Kavanagh, and then Presley and Archer continue up front, though Pryor will definitely come off the bench today. So let's get into this free swing against Bath for us. We're just going to try and enjoy the occasion. Well, it's a 3-5-2 for Bath, something we struggle with quite a lot, and Ryan Brunt scored goals for fun against us in the past, so it could be a difficult day for us, particularly for our slightly younger side, but of course they've got nothing to lose, so we're just going to tell them to get out and prove a point. Most of the lads are motivated, and why on earth wouldn't they be? They've got to prove they can play at the higher level, but we have had instances like this on the channel before, where lads have just gone on holiday after winning the league, or securing a playoff spot, or survival, whatever the expectations may have been. Once they get to that stage, do they go to sleep, and do we end up having a poor game to finish? It's Vaughan on the right hand side to Georgie. The early sign's pretty good for us so far. No highlights, we've kept it solid, and then Presley gets in from a Georgie cross. He's been brilliant in the last month, the right winger. He played a beautiful through ball for the third against Dulwich, and a wonderful whip cross for Presley there. Presley himself is on absolute fire, and he gets on the end of a corner again. This one headed away off the line, falls for Adebayo 30 yards out. He finds Whelan via Harbottle. Back to Harbottle who's going back again. The highlight ends and we still lead 1-0. Been a really good start to the match. Well, 30 seconds plus stoppage time to go. It's been a really assured first half performance. No real highlights and we've done a good job. And we've got possession back at right back with Vaughan. Long ball forward towards Presley. Headed away into midfield for Bath. That extra man may count in there, but O'Dwyer's going long over the top. If he takes them out of the game, it won't matter. Though Adebayo's missed his interception there. Into the centre circle and Bath making the extra man count again. Out to the right hand side to Rains. Takes on the fullback, the youngster Amadi, though he does well to get a block on the cross. Archer brings it away and holds it up. Beats the the fullback with blistering pace. He could be in one-on-one here. No one can catch him. Into the box and it's saved. A really poor finish. He could have laid it off. Presley was waiting there for a tap-in. But at half-time we lead 1-0. It's been a really solid performance. And I'm surprised there aren't more fans in the away end. I'm sure they'd be wanting to enjoy the occasion. We're going to tell the lads not to get complacent. Just keep them on their toes for the second half. Cavan is stressed, so we'll see if we can keep him happy. Unfortunately, showing faith in him's worked. So let's get into the second period, see what we can do. I'd like to see something of the left winger in this one. Well, Bath have got it 30 yards out as we're back for another highlight just after the hour mark. Kevin Kavanagh missed an interception which led to this, and hopefully they're not going to pay us pay. It's out to Harris on the left as Brunt holds it up again, into Richards and now Smith. The three in midfield looking really comfortable in possession for them, but they just haven't quite found that opening yet. It's Smith again into the middle and Brunt the target man holding it up well. Been a really good player for them and we probably look to sign him. Unfortunately he's just on too much money though. To Miles at the edge of the box who shoots eventually. Lovely passing football from Bath, but unfortunately the shot's wild and over the bar and we can deal with that all day long. We've got 20 minutes left, so let's go and make our changes, see if we can get some of our old heroes on. Well, I don't really want to take the youngsters off if they're having decent games, so Archer's going to be replaced by Pryor. Gallagher on for Whelan, who's had a long tough season with us. We've got one more that we can make as well. I think it might be Arthur Reed for Adebayi. He's not really had much of a kick this season, Reed, but he's got to be the best fourth choice midfielder in the division, so we want him to get 20 minutes in this one. We put him in his preferred box-to-box role and get back into the game, as then Harris, our former player, comes on at wing-back for them, and I've just noticed they've got Akpapire on the bench too. So a bit of a reunion there, although he doesn't get off the bench today, and we're back with an attacking throw for Vaughan, though he's conceded possession to Ollis. He's coming forward for Bath on the counter, trying to get a late equaliser for the home fans. O'Dwyer fouls him and he could be off here. It looked like he was going through on goal. O'Dwyer's going to get a yellow, is he? No, he gets the red. We saw it coming, to be honest. There may have been cover round, but we certainly won't complain about that decision. Let's see if we've got anyone who can go centre half. Jay Gallagher's not terrible at it. Can either of our central strikers go midfield? Jason Pryor is going to finish his time at the club there. You didn't expect that at the start of this episode. Jason Pryor on for his final appearance, and he's going to go into central midfield, I think, and we'll drop Arthur Reed to the more defensive role. I'm not sure what Pryor can do. Nothing really, to be honest. So we'll put him back in central midfield on attack, the tactic we usually use with a team, and Presley's now going to be a one-man strike force. Hopefully he'll be able to be a nuisance. Just 2 minutes to go plus stoppage time. We'll go to our time-wasting tactic. We still want to win even on the last day, and with 10 men we might have to do it the dirty way. Well, there's the final whistle. We beat Bath despite a poor second half. We said goodbye to a few legends and we got a brilliant performance out the lads. O'Dwyer will be banned for the first game of next year, which could be a problem for us, of course. But we finished the season on a mighty 112 points and we're deserved champions of the National League South. So let's very quickly look at what the media said about the game. Bath fall out of the top 7. Oh, Billericay edged them by a point. They're going to be really upset with us for that one. We'll deal with all of that stuff off camera in a moment. We've got to sort out the fine for O'Dwyer and deal with a press conference too. But let's very quickly finish on the squad screen so you can see the selection info for the season, just to see who the stars have been for our side, which we'll of course review in more detail in tomorrow's episode. If you did enjoy those 2 games and seeing us win the title though, please do put a thumbs up on this video. As you can see, the stars of the season were definitely our front 2. Archer and Presley both sensational, and to be fair, for the first half of the year, Pryor was right up there. He just started to struggle and decline towards the end. The 2 centre halves have been brilliant as well. So many standout performers, and no one's really been that terrible for us. We could probably just do with a new keeper though. As I mentioned, we've got plenty of young players being scouted, and we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow as well, as we'll be back for our Season 2 review. I hope it'll go down as well as the first one. We're going to talk a little bit about scouting in detail. Not generally or related to transfers as we did last year, but how to adapt to a promotion. Something that we didn't know we were going to be able to do at the start of the year, but it's something I'd very much like to show you. I'm also going to talk about my approach to individual training too, almost a bit like a guide, I guess. It's the way I do things and I like to give you an insight of the club, and I hope you'll enjoy it as much as you did last year. But the front 2 are the heroes for this season, and there are plenty of others that go with them. A wonderful season, capped with top place in the league, and we'll finish on the league table to celebrate. We picked up 112 points in the year. We had a brilliant FA Cup first round tie against Scunthorpe. We almost shocked them and got through to the second round, but hopefully we'll be able to go one better next year. As I mentioned before, if you did enjoy the episode and the season, please do put a thumbs up on the video. A massive thank you for following along for another year. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I'm looking forward to next season in the National League, testing ourselves at a higher level. We'll be coming up against a lot of professional sides, so that's going to be a challenge in itself, and we're going to have to find new ways to adapt, but we've got a brilliant young side that could achieve anything. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content. From Monday we'll be starting our head coach series. The FM20 edition will be on Monday at 4:30, and then these two long-term stories will rotate every day. In the meantime, we've got our end of season review tomorrow, the final episode of our Luton Town beta save on Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll be back for the transfer special as we start to adapt to life in the National League. I hope you're looking forward to it and that you'll come and join me for all of those. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support in the series as always. Let me know in the comments where you think we need to improve, where should I focus my transfer plans in the summer, and I hope to see you next time for our end of season review as we take an in-depth look at more areas of Dorking Wanderers.